The Sterling Innovations annual party was the event of the year, at least according to the email reminders that had flooded my inbox for the past month. Crystal chandeliers, a 5-course meal, and most importantly, the chance to network with executives who usually stayed locked in their top-floor offices. "Sorry, the main hall is for executives only," the event coordinator said, her plastic smile not quite reaching her eyes as she scanned her iPad. She was new, Brittany or Bethany, something with AB. "Support staff celebrates out there." She pointed through the floor-to-ceiling windows to the parking lot, where a sad white tent fluttered in the December wind. I could see chairs and what looked like a single-space heater fighting a losing battle against the cold. "Support staff," I repeated, glancing down at my employee badge. Alexandra Kim, Senior Systems Analyst. Not exactly entry-level, but apparently not executive enough for the main event. "Anyone below director level," she clarified with that same frozen smile. "Company policy." Mr. Hartwell was very specific about maintaining proper hierarchies at corporate events. Richard Hartwell, our illustrious CEO who'd inherited the company from his father and spent most of his time perfecting his golf swing, while the real work happened 3 floors below his office. As I headed outside, my phone buzzed. The acquisition paperwork was complete. The notification I'd been waiting 6 months for. Every signature in place, every share transferred, every legal requirement satisfied. As of 4:47 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, Phoenix Digital Holdings, my company, officially owned 51% of Sterling Innovations. Tomorrow's all-hands meeting would be very interesting. The parking lot tent was even more depressing up close. About 40 employees huddled around rickety tables, trying to balance paper plates while their coats stayed firmly zipped. Someone had strung up Christmas lights that flickered weakly against the gray evening sky. "Alex," my colleague Marcus waved me over. "Can you believe this? They literally put us in the parking lot. Like we're overflow inventory." I sat down at his table, accepting a lukewarm beer from another analyst. "When did this policy start?" "This year," said Jen from accounting, bitterness clear in her voice. "Hartwell's new organizational efficiency initiative. Separate but equal, he called it." "Except the equal part got lost somewhere," Marcus added. "They're having lobster thermidor in there. We got sandwich platters from Subway." Through the windows, I could see the executive party in full swing. Hartwell held court near the bar, his silver hair gleaming under the chandeliers as he regaled board members with what were undoubtedly exaggerated stories. The executives laughed at all the right moments, champagne flutes catching the light. "You know what the worst part is?" Jen continued. "We just had our best quarter ever. The AI integration project alone saved the company $12 million. Guess who got the credit?" We all looked back at Hartwell, who was now demonstrating his golf swing to an appreciative audience. "I ran the numbers," Marcus said quietly. "Over the past 3 years, our department has generated 73% of the company's innovations and 81% of its growth. You know what percentage of us get promoted to executive level?" "Let me guess," I said. 0. 2%. And they both left within 6 months. My phone buzzed again. An email from my lawyer with the subject line, "Congratulations, Madam Chairwoman." Chairwoman. It had a nice ring to it. "I need to make a call," I said, standing up. "Save my seat. And maybe grab an extra sandwich. I have a feeling tomorrow's going to be a long day." I walked to my car, a sensible Honda that had raised eyebrows in the executive lot whenever I'd had to attend strategy meetings. Hartwell had once joked about it during a presentation. "That's the difference between executives and analysts," he'd said. "We understand image matters." I sat in the driver's seat and dialed my CFO, David Chun, no relation, despite the shared surname. "Is it done?" I asked. "Every last share," he confirmed. "The board doesn't know yet. Hartwell's been too busy planning his party to notice the ownership changes. We now control Sterling Innovations." "And the press release?" "Ready to go out at 9 a.m. sharp, right when the all-hands meeting starts." "Perfect. Make sure someone films Hartwell's face when he finds out." "Already arranged. By the way, have you decided what to do with him?" I looked back at the tent where my colleagues, the people who actually made Sterling Innovations profitable, shivered in the cold while Hartwell's cronies enjoyed their heated ballroom. "I have some ideas," I said. "But first, I want him to squirm." The next morning, I arrived at the office early, parking in my usual spot in the far corner of the lot. The security guard, Frank, did a double take when he saw me. "Ms. Kim?" The all-hands meeting isn't for another hour. I know, Frank. Just wanted to get some work done first. He shrugged and went back to his newspaper. I'd made a point of learning every security guard's name over my 5 years at Sterling. It was amazing what you could learn from the people executives ignored. By 8:45, the main conference hall was packed. The executives clustered in the front rows, still glowing from their party the night before. The rest of us, the support staff, filed into the back sections. I chose a seat in the very last row, next to Marcus. You look surprisingly cheerful for someone who spent last night in a parking lot, he observed. Just excited to hear what leadership has planned for us, I said innocently. At exactly 9 o'clock, Hartwell strode onto the stage, his Italian suit impeccable, his confidence radiating. Good morning, Sterling family. Family. Right. Before we begin, he continued, I want to address last night's party. I know some of you were disappointed by the separate venues, but I believe it's important to maintain distinctions between levels. It motivates our support staff to strive for executive positions. Murmurs rippled through the back sections. Someone muttered, What executive positions? Now, let's talk about the future of Sterling Innovations. The main doors burst open. A woman in a sharp business suit walked in, followed by 3 others carrying boxes of documents. I recognized her, Sylvia Martinez, one of the city's top corporate lawyers. Mr. Hartwell, she said, her voice carrying across the room. I'm here on behalf of Phoenix Digital Holdings. As of yesterday evening, my client owns a controlling interest in Sterling Innovations. The color drained from Hartwell's face. That's impossible. The board would have notified me. The board was notified this morning, Sylvia continued smoothly. Perhaps you should check your email. Hartwell fumbled for his phone, his hands shaking. Around the room, other executives were doing the same, their expressions shifting from confusion to panic. Who? Hartwell's voice cracked. Who owns Phoenix Digital? I do. I stood up from my seat in the back row, every head in the room turning to follow my voice. The walk to the stage felt both endless and too quick, my sensible flats clicking against the floor. Alexander Kim, I said, taking the microphone from Hartwell's limp hand. Senior systems analyst. Or I was until about. I checked my watch. 6 minutes ago. Now I'm the majority owner and new CEO of Sterling Innovations. The silence was beautiful. You might be wondering how a support staff member could afford to buy the company, I continued, enjoying the way Hartwell's mouth opened and closed wordlessly. Funny thing about being excluded from executive meetings, it gives you a lot of time to work on side projects. I clicked a button, and a presentation appeared on the screen behind me. 3 years ago, while you were implementing your organizational efficiency policies, I was developing an AI algorithm in my spare time. You might remember rejecting my proposal to implement it here. Too ambitious for an analyst, I believe you said. Hartwell sank into a chair someone hastily provided. So I started my own company. Turns out, other corporations were very interested in technology that could streamline their operations. Phoenix Digital Holdings now has contracts with 60 Fortune 500 companies. Our annual revenue? Let's just say it dwarfs Sterling's. I turned to address the room, making eye contact with the employees who'd shivered in that tent with me. But I didn't buy Sterling for revenge. I bought it because this company has incredible potential being wasted by leadership that values hierarchy over talent. Effective immediately, we're restructuring. The executive-only policies? Gone. The glass ceiling that keeps brilliant minds in support roles? Shattered. You can't do this, Hartwell finally found his voice. I have a contract, which includes a performance clause, Sylvia interrupted. Sterling's stock has underperformed for 3 consecutive years under your leadership. The board can terminate with cause. The board won't. The board, I said, savoring every word, answers to the majority shareholder now. That's me. I looked out at the sea of faces, some shocked, some delighted, many still processing. For those wondering about their jobs, don't worry. I'm not here to clean house indiscriminately. If you do good work, if you contribute to our success, you have nothing to fear. But if you've been coasting on connections, if you've been taking credit for other people's innovations, if you think a title makes you more valuable than talent. I looked directly at Hartwell. Well, you might want to update your resume. This is insane, one of the VPs shouted. You're just an analyst. Just an analyst who generated the AI integration that saved us $12 million, I corrected. Just an analyst who warned you about the security vulnerabilities that almost cost us the Databrite contract. Just an analyst who's been doing director-level work for analyst-level pay. Marcus started clapping slowly from the back. Jen joined him. Then another person and another. Soon the entire back section, the support staff, the analysts, the overlooked and undervalued, were on their feet applauding. The executives sat frozen, looking between me and Hartwell like children watching their parents fight. "Mr. Hartwell," I said, turning back to our former CEO. "Security will escort you to clean out your office. Don't worry, we've set up a nice tent in the parking lot where you can sort through your things. I heard you believe in maintaining proper hierarchies." As security approached, Hartwell made one last attempt. "The investors will never accept this. You don't have the experience." "The investors," I interrupted, "are thrilled. Sterling stock is up 12% in pre-market trading on news of the acquisition. Turns out, they're more interested in competence than pedigree." As Hartwell was led away, I addressed the room one more time. "We have a lot of work ahead of us. Sterling Innovations is going to become what it always should have been, a company that values innovation over tradition, merit over connections, and results over politics. We're going to promote from within, invest in our people, and show the corporate world what happens when you actually listen to the folks doing the work." I paused, looking at the empty executive section. "Oh, and one more thing. The holiday party next year? One venue, one team. Because that's what real families do. They celebrate together." The applause this time was deafening. After the meeting, employees approached me throughout the day. Some with ideas they'd been sitting on for years, others with concerns about the transition. I listened to all of them, taking notes, making plans. Marcus found me in what used to be Hartwell's office, soon to be converted into a collaborative workspace. "So," he said, grinning, "Phoenix Digital Holdings. You've been planning this for a while." "Since the day Hartwell told me I didn't have executive presence," I admitted. "I figured if I couldn't join them, I'd buy them. And the parking lot tent. The final straw. You don't treat people like second-class citizens and expect them to stay loyal." I gestured to the plaques and awards covering Hartwell's walls, his vanity gallery. "Help me take these down. I want to put up pictures of every team member who's contributed to our success." As we worked, Marcus asked, "What happens to the other executives?" "They'll get the same chance as everyone else. Prove their worth without the safety net of titles and connections. Some might surprise us. Others." I shrugged. "There's always room in the parking lot tent." 6 months later, Sterling Innovations was unrecognizable. The hierarchical structure had been replaced with collaborative teams. The executive floor had been converted into shared workspaces. The parking lot where we'd once huddled in a tent now hosted food trucks every Friday, a celebration for all employees, regardless of title. Revenue was up 34%. Employee satisfaction scores had tripled. And the holiday party? Held in the main hall with everyone invited, no exceptions. Hartwell, I heard, had taken a job at a small firm across town. His new office had a lovely view of a parking lot. As for me, I split my time between Sterling and Phoenix Digital, building something I'd never found in all my years as an analyst. A company culture based on respect, innovation, and the radical idea that the best ideas could come from anywhere. But I kept one reminder of the old Sterling Innovations. In my office, I hung a photo from that parking lot party. 40 employees huddled together in the cold, making the best of being deemed not important enough for the real celebration. Under it, a simple caption: "Never forget where you came from." Because the view from the parking lot, it shows you exactly who deserves to be in the building and who deserves to be escorted out.